Let's talk Tanya for the 13th of a leap year. In today's Tanya, we begin chapter 4 of Igeres HaKodesh. It's another chapter, another letter, which the Alter Rebbe wrote, urging his Chassidim to give tzedakah. And the Alter Rebbe begins with a statement from the sages, Ein Yisrael nig'olin ela b'tzedakah, which means that the ultimate redemption, with the coming of Mashiach, will only come in the merit of the tzedakah that we give. And the obvious question is, why tzedakah? There are 613 mitzvahs. What is so special about tzedakah that it is because of the tzedakah that we earn the redemption? So to answer that question, Alter Rebbe explains that in terms of our relationship with God, there are two possible types of relationship that we can have with God. And these are associated with, both of them with the heart, because relationships always begin in the heart. One of them is chitzoni yis halev, the external dimension of the heart. One of them is pnimi yis halev, which is the internal dimension of the heart, or the center, the core of the heart. A chitzoni yis halev relationship, which is more of an external relationship, is a relationship which is a product of understanding, a product of logic. I understand, I have my priorities right. I look around the world, I realize how unimportant the world is. I realize how great God is. I realize how kind God is. And because of that, I develop a relationship with Him. Now, this relationship could be an amazing relationship, but ultimately, it's as large as my understanding is. And ultimately, it is boxed in by its logic, its underlying logic. And then there is Pnimi Yis Halev, the center, the core of the heart, and that is a relationship which defies logic. It's beyond logic. Think of the love that a mother has for her child. It's not logical. Now, it also might not be illogical. In other words, it's not stupid to love your child, but at the same time, it's not bound by logic. It goes well beyond that. And also in this world, there's many times that most of the things that we're attracted to or drawn to, it's because of logic, but sometimes there's something which touches us to our very core, and we essentially need and desire it, and sometimes we'll do even crazy things in order to attain that which we desire. That is Pnimi Yis Halev. And that is the kind of relationship we want to have with God. At the core of our being, at the core of our neshama, at the core of our soul, at the center of our heart, every single Jew is aflame with love for God, which transcends logic. It's not for any specific reason. It's just because it's an expression of who we are. We want to experience that. And when we experience it, that is Geula, that is redemption. That is what Mashiach is all about. That intensely passionate, amazing relationship with God. And on a daily basis, we try to also capture a little of that redemption in our life when we daven. When we daven, we're supposed to try to experience that beyond logical love and relationship we have for and with God. But the question is, we all have that love deep inside us. Why don't we feel it? And the answer, the Alter Rebbe tells us, is because that love has been hijacked. In most of us, we are illogically drawn, and you might even want to say essentially drawn to this world, to achievements, attainments, material stuff, physical stuff. And these serve as a blockage. And that's what doesn't allow us to experience redemption. It doesn't allow us to experience the redemption of Mashiach. It doesn't allow us to experience that personal redemption that we're supposed to have during davening. What is the solution for that? Ein Yisrael nig'olin ela b'tzedakah, redemption comes through tzedakah. When we give tzedakah, we're giving money. Where does that money come from? That money comes because we worked. We worked for a living. When we work for a living, we put our entire being into it because our need to live, our need to have a livelihood is at the very core of our being. And then when we take $1 and we give it to tzedakah, we're actually giving the core of our being to God. And then God reciprocates in kind and removes the blockages and allows us to experience that relationship with Him, which is at the core of our being. This redemption, we're meant to experience daily when we daven, and which is also why we give tzedakah before we daven, because as we said, redemption comes through tzedakah. How does that impact the rest of our day? For that, tune in to tomorrow's Let's Talk Tanya.